speaking of not hard, this is Charlie Nelson. He is one of our viewers, and he's been on the show to cook with me before, and we just had to have him back because he's got a few great recipes up his sleeve. Charlie, good to see you.
Hi, how's it
Thanks
going?
so much for coming.
Thank you.
From Two Rivers?
Yep.
Well, excellent. Charlie made his mashed potatoes a while back, and everyone loved them. They went crazy over them, and before he left, we said, Charlie, what other kind of recipes do you have that you're known for? And this was one that came to mind right away. Tell me a little bit about it. I know your friends love it.
This is called Fancy Fast Chicken. I got it from a coworker. Basically, it's a fancy recipe you can use in substitute of any, particular holiday meals or if you have a small group of people, but you just want to basically do something elegant and easy.
Two key words: fancy, fast. Love both of those. And I am a big fan of casseroles. And I know you're a bachelor. Mm-hmm. Casseroles are great. You can make them ahead of time, and they don't have to be like the casseroles, not any hard feelings, Mom, but they had everything but the kitchen sink in them, a bunch of leftovers. This is actually, you're starting with all fresh ingredients. Yep. It's easy, you can make it ahead of time, and it tastes wonderful. I can hardly wait to get in. So basically a nice big glass casserole pan. We'll go ahead and we'll grease the pan up. Okay. You were saying that your friends are asking you all the time. Yep. When are you going to make this, Charlie? When are you going to make it again? They're very jealous because I'm doing it here and not there. They don't get to eat. We'll have to send you home with some. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and we'll put our chicken inside the baking dish. We'll just lay them lengthwise in there. We've got 4, but I suppose you could do 6 even. Yeah, you can do 4 to 6. That's what the recipe calls for. You can even make a double batch if you have 2 pans. I mean, this could feed as many people as you wanted to. You were saying that one of the first times you made this, Charlie, was at Thanksgiving. Somebody didn't want to mess with the whole turkey, so yeah, they only had a few people over. They only had about 4 or 5 people, and instead of making a giant-sized turkey and the whole fixings, they decided to do this instead. Great idea. Great idea. All right, so we'll put that over there. Let's season those chicken breasts. Those are just boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I always like to, if I'm not going to pan, sear these or brown them up, to just season them just a little bit with some salt and pepper, just to give them a little extra flavor. Beautiful chicken breasts, aren't they? Yeah, they are. Okay, what's next? All right, you lead the way here. You can use either sliced Swiss cheese or shredded, and we're going to use both on this one. Okay. And go ahead and just lay them over. Don't have to overlap them. They'll get pretty spread around as it bakes. This is looking better and better. We'll go ahead and put it on here. So this will all melt together. So bunch of Swiss cheese, basically. Yep. Sliced or shredded, doesn't matter, whatever you have or whatever. You can just go to the deli and get some sliced Swiss cheese. Or you can use the shredded. It doesn't really matter. Swiss cheese is Swiss cheese. Yep, very true. Like I said, it gets all melted, so you won't even know which is which. Okay, now what? Now we go ahead, and if you want to start mixing up the sauce. Yes, I'd love to. All right, so the sauce, basically. It's a can of cream of chicken. You just pop it open and put it in the dish. Okay, so elegant, easy, but not expensive. This is not going to be, break the budget, this casserole. So 1 can, but as you said, sometimes you'll double and triple it, and so then, you could use 2 cans. Yeah, lots of sauce. I like a lot of sauce. So. And then in that goes 2/3 cup of a dry white wine. Okay, and we were I was just saying, it doesn't have to cost a fortune. This is just a Chardonnay. Do you usually use like a Chardonnay or something like that? I've even used a sparkling white wine. I've actually noticed that it puts more flavor in the chicken. Oh, that's a good idea. Must be the carbonation effect that puts the... But this is just a couple bucks, this bottle. I get emails all the time. What kind of wine? And a lot of recipes call for wine. It's because they add great flavor. Wine adds really great flavor. But I don't want to spend a fortune. You don't have to. Just don't buy the stuff that's in the grocery store that says cooking wine. No, do not use cooking wine. That's not good stuff. It has a lot of salt in it. Yeah, you don't need that. Over salty. This is just, El Cheapo Chardonnay. Maybe not the best for drinking, but certainly great for cooking. Or, you ever use those little mini bottles too? Like those are great too. They come in like a 4-pack. Yeah, those are great. And the wine is probably the most expensive part of this whole dish. True, very true. And it isn't that much. Does this go on now or not yet? Actually, we put the fresh mushrooms on. Okay. These are fresh. You can use fresh portobello sliced or just regular mushrooms. You basically just spread them wherever. I see some butter here. I'm going to go melt this. This stick of butter is going to go on top, making this very yummy. I'm just going to melt that in the microwave. About 30 seconds. I'm seeing this as a great make ahead. So you've got
friends coming over after work, you get this thing done in the morning, park it in the fridge, bake it when you come home. Love recipes like that.
All right, then we can go ahead and put the sauce mixture on top of this.
Just kind of pour it or spread it? Okay.
Just pour it. And this will, when it cooks, this will all bake in with the chicken.
I'm going to get a little spatula because I want to get every little last drop out of there. That's the good stuff. My husband would love this. He's a huge fan of, we love chicken, chicken breast.
So you could do this for an anniversary night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Special occasion.
And then he loves mushrooms, so I'm going to make this for him. And I love the idea of some Swiss cheese in there. I think without that, it just wouldn't be quite as good.
Swiss cheese gives it that bite.
Yeah. All right.
All right, then we go ahead, and you can use up to a box of stovetop. You just basically drizzle it on top.
So this is just dry stuffing mix?
That's all it is. It's just a box of dry stuffing mix.
Oh, I love that idea. One, you got your side dish right on top there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
great. It's a complete meal.
Yeah, or, you know, it also had some crunch, because I love the crunchy part on the top of a casserole. That's my favorite part of a casserole. So one box of
stuffing mix.
Stuffing mix. We got chicken flavor, but turkey flavor, you know, something like any flavor. Any flavor.
You could use cornbread, you could use turkey, chicken. Then we take the melted butter and we just drizzle it over the top.
Okay, this is the best part. One stick. Okay, now how do we bake this?
Bake it in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. Kind of keep an eye. It depends how many chicken breasts you use. I would say if you use 4 chicken breasts, less time. 6, use more time. If you're doing multiple dishes, of course, you can use the meat thermometers to check the temperature of your chicken, make sure it's done.
And that's key. You don't want to be pulling this out at a dinner party and you go to serve it up and you've got pink chicken inside.
Exactly.
Not a good thing. So make sure it's cooked all the way through. Oven temperature, about what temperature?
350 degrees.
350. Cover or not cover?
What I do is I cover it for about a half hour, and then I take the cover off for the last 15 minutes just to give it that golden brown tint to the top.
I'm totally with you. That's how I do a lot of my casseroles, because that way you're covering it with foil, you're keeping the moisture in, and cooking that chicken. That extra foil will cook that chicken, and then you want to get the crusty, crumbly, yummy stuff on top, get that stuffing all brown.
And I will tell you, the chicken is juicy. It just falls apart. I mean, it's not dry, it's not tough, it's excellent.
Whoa, you got me excited. Sounds absolutely wonderful. So come back with me. I've got it actually ready to come right out of the oven.
Yes, we do.
Always looking for your recipes out there, the real recipes, the delicious casserole recipes like Charlie has, mashed potatoes. That's my kind of cooking. So if you have any, you have to email them to me. Charlie, you got more recipes up your sleeve?
Oh, yeah, I'm working on them.
All right, good. Get them to me. All right, let me come back to the oven. So this has been in here. We covered it, just like Charlie said, for about a half hour. Then we took the foil off, and it's bubbly and wonderful. I just turned that oven off and cooked it for the last 20 minutes, half hour or so, just to get that casserole all nice and brown. Charlie, that looks so good. Now you're going to dress it up and make it look a little fancier?
Put some parsley around. And, you know, it doesn't look very fancy at first, but once you dig into it and people, you know, distinguish the taste, and they're like, oh, is that Swiss cheese? Is that mushrooms? And
it looks fancy to me, Charlie. Looks tasty. Everything's, the key new word now is rustic.
Rustic.
Rustic. It's rustic. And you know what that means? It's homemade and it was made with love. Charlie, thank you so much.
No problem.
I can hardly wait to cool down just a little bit, and we're going to dig in.